It's time to blow your own mind. Yes. Hi there, and welcome back to the Lisa Nichols Show, where I share the tools that you and I need to achieve the life that we want, to leave a legacy, to make our lives a delicious, amazing experience, the one that we designed. One of my absolute favorite things to do in my quiet time, when I'm either on the plane or I'm sitting in the backseat of the car on one of my many long road journeys, or even when I'm at home, just relaxing, is reading your comments. And in the episode, How to Change Your Relationship to Fear. Oh, one of my favorite episodes. Leah W. says, quote, "Fear is a person that must be talked to." Oh, thank you for showing me how to speak to my fear, Lisa. And Arusha K says, hashtag BOL. Fear is asking for clarity, and clarity is asking for action. Thanks a lot. Exclamation point 3 times. I needed this so much. You're so welcome. Keep your comments coming. In the episode, How to Change Your Relationship to Fear, I talk figuratively that fear is a person. I mean, speak to fear, talk to fear as if fear is asking you or showing you something. Speak to your fear, because when you speak to fear, what do you need? Why are you here? Fear is going to give you an answer. I need more answers. I need you to move with more caution. I need you to get some support. I need someone who knows more than you about this. I need you to slow down. Fear is going to give you information. Fear is not in your space to stop you. Fear is in your space to inform you. Again, like Arusha K says, fear is asking for clarity. When you replace fear with clarity, then you follow clarity with action. And when you follow clarity with action, you get the results you want and you stay in action. And then you begin to design a life that you love. So keep those comments coming. I love it. Once I talk to you and you talk to me, now we're in a relationship. So I love your comments. Keep them coming. I think the way that you deal with sadness and depression come from different, it's not a one fits all. So number one, the solution to depression and sadness is not a one fits all. So I'm going to offer some ideas and some suggestions and some recommendations, some awareness, and then you have to choose which one's for you. So there is some depression that requires medical support. Let me start by saying that. So this is not an advocacy for if you're on depression medicine to get off. I want to say that because I don't know your situation. So there's some depression that requires some medical support, just so you can get back to your breath. It's also important to realize that sadness and that place of misery is as contagious as joy. That people talk about the contagiousness of joy and excitement because they go, oh, I love being around this person. Where there are people that you're around that live in sadness, and you actually adjust your energy so that you are in a vibrational balance with them. It may not mean you go to their depth of sadness, but you definitely release and bring down tone or temper your own joy so that you're not out of sync with them. So just be mindful that as joy and happiness is contagious, sadness and misery is contagious as well. I was in a relationship and I kept saying, what is it? I liked the person. He was a very nice person, but his calibration was just one of solemnness. It was like unspoken, unmentioned high-level misery, well masked. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. All I knew, even up until when I released the relationship, I still hadn't put my finger on it. All I knew is that I didn't want to subscribe to a lifetime of it. And so, number one, it might be medication. Number two, recognize that it's contagious, that sadness and misery is contagious. Who are you surrounding yourself with? And if you're the person that's sad and you're the person that's depressed, still, who are you surrounding yourself with? Go and be around people who make you stand on your tippy toes to find joy. Go and stand around people, be around people, spend time with people who are living in possibility. Not so far out that you can't relate to them, but they make you want to find your way out of where you are. And initially it'll feel odd, like you're visiting this moment, because you are. And then you'll go back to your place of sadness and depression. But if you visit it enough, then the unfamiliar slowly becomes the familiar. The third thing to recognize is that loneliness is one of the root causes to depression and sadness. That when people are lonely, then you're only left with what's in your head. When people are lonely, loneliness is one of the core reasons for sadness and depression. And so pull people into your space. That's why on this channel, I have hashtag YANA, YANA, hashtag you are not alone. The number one reason for depression is loneliness. And in studies years ago, I haven't done the study, haven't looked at the study recently, but in studies years ago, they said the number one reason for suicide was loneliness. So that's something we can handle. That's something we can manage. That's why you're here. Stay on this channel, join this tribe, stay connected to this tribe. Find ways to go from an online touch to a audio touch, maybe through radio, through in your car, to go to a physical touch. Put yourself in the proximity of other people. Allow people in your space. And then when you allow them in your physical space, trust them at levels that you feel comfortable to allow them in your emotional space. Go to a community, and I'm going to invite you to be in this community. Join this community, because I know this community is an emotionally safe community. Come out to one of our live events. Join one of our online live events. So in this day and age, you can be connected to people in so many different ways, but you got to out yourself. I want you, if you find right now you're depressed and you're sad and it has to do with being lonely, I want you, when you finish watching this episode, I want you to text 2 people. And I want you to have a courageous conversation that says, I've been lonely lately. And I just wanted to reach out to you and say, thank you for being in my life. You don't have to put the onus on them to fix it, because nothing's broken, but expose the loneliness. Man, one of the most powerful things I did in my life was expose when I was on an island. My island looked good. I was writing books and doing things and traveling, but I was on an island. Like, I build bridges back to my family constantly, because I know if I don't, I'll feel alone. And if I feel alone long enough, I'll get really sad. And if I'm really sad long enough, then I've slipped into depression. And so knowing that there's a path to sadness, there's a path to depression, as there is a path into sadness and depression, there's a path out. So one of the things you have to recognize is that sadness and depression is the result of repeated thoughts, a repeated belief system. And so the core of shifting sadness and depression is to address your belief system. No one understands me. I have no one that I can trust. I'm all alone. My life is overwhelming. So go directly to the belief system and begin to work on the belief system. Don't try to work on your environment. Work on the belief system, because the belief system is going to follow you in whatever environment you go to. So to help you with that is number 4, affirmations. When I was sad and depressed, 1997, I was really, really sad. And you wonder, how could I remember it this long? I've never been that sad before in my life, and I've never been that sad since. One of the things that really helped me was I realized in my sadness and my depression, I had forgotten who I was. I had forgotten the power that was born in me. I've forgotten the certainty that was in my blood and in my veins. I've forgotten the non-negotiable that my family operated with. I forgot. I was overwhelmed with what I was dealing with. I was overwhelmed with being a new mom. I was overwhelmed with just getting out of a very unhealthy, toxic, emotionally abusive relationship where I was about to get married. I was overwhelmed with the weight that I had gained. I was overwhelmed with being everything for everyone else, and I'd forgotten who I was for me. I was overwhelmed, I was sad, and I was clinically depressed. In that moment, I had to acknowledge that I didn't know who Lisa was. I needed to go and find Lisa. And so what I did was I looked up affirmations. I went to spiritual books authored by ministers that I followed, such as T.D. Jakes and Reverend Michael Beckwith, and inspirational speakers that I followed, like Wayne Dyer and Marianne Williamson and YANA Van Zandt. And I pulled out affirmations and I rewrote the affirmations so that I can feel myself writing them. Something happens when you read, something happens when you recite, and something happens at a much deeper level when you write. I wrote the affirmations out. I used I statements. I put Lisa's name in it, and I put them on Post-it notes. I recommend you do the same. Grab Post-it notes, even if you're not depressed, even if you're not sad, but you want to add some juice to your energy. You want to add some certainty to your walk. You want to add some power to who you are and what you possess. I wrote the affirmations out, and all the affirmations relevant to who I am, my self-esteem, my beauty, my ownership, my mocha skin, my full lips, my round hips, my kinky hair, me being beautiful and enough, and who I am, I put on the bathroom window. And all the affirmations about what I deserved in love and relationship, I put on the back of my bedroom door. And all the affirmations about my body and how it's a temple and how it's a tool and how my body is going to help me live out my life's purpose and how it's beautiful just the way it is and as it transforms, I put on my refrigerator. And then who I could be in the world and what I could do and how the world's ready for me and I'm ready for the world and how I deserve to have my voice heard. Remember, this is 1997. How I deserve to have my voice heard by millions. I put on the back of my front door. And as I moved around my house, I reaffirmed who I was because I had forgotten. And it didn't happen in weeks, but over months, I began to be reminded who I am. Every day, I touched, looked at, and recited every single one of those affirmations so that I can find my way back to Lisa. So those are 4 techniques that you can use that will help you deal with sadness or depression. And not as if you were living in depression or sadness, but every now and then we visit it unexpectedly. Something jumps in and intrudes our joy. It intrudes our happiness. It intrudes our peace of mind. I dare you, anger. I dare you, sadness, to jump in my space. How do I get you to leave? Some of those techniques. And as you do that, I'll be your sister on the journey. We're far more alike than you ever imagined. Remember, this show is not just a monologue. It's a dialogue. It's a delicious, sometimes spicy, sometimes mildly uncomfortable conversation about who we get to be and our possibility. I always love to hear from you. I always love to hear what was the biggest lesson, or what was the aha, or what was the BOL, or in many cases, what's the YANA, YANA, you are not alone. Where is that area where we are connected? Or when you hear someone else's comment or you read someone else's comment and you're like them, say their name in comments and put hashtag YANA to let them know that they're not alone as well. And when you comment here, wait a few days and come back and read the other comments below your comment so you can see that other people are relating just like you and you're not alone. So often we sit behind our computers or we're looking at our cell phones and we've disconnected to those around us and we could feel alone. Here's where we come together. Here's where we hold on to each other. Here's where we walk this journey together. Here's where we learn how to perfectly manage our imperfection together. Here is where we wake up and we say, I am enough today. And tomorrow I'll be a bigger, better me. And tomorrow I'll get closer to the best version of myself. But today I accept me for who I am. I want you to leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. What are you waiting for? And look out for more delicious, dynamic conversation here in the future. After all, this is and will always be your home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not built for a sprint. I'm built for a marathon. You will always have a home here, and we will always be your tribe. And I am and will always be your sister in prosperity and in possibility. And every single time I tell you that I believe in you and that I love you, it's because I do. I'll see you real soon.